Howdy y'all, and welcome back to World of Warships with Bucketeer. And it's time for another episode of Opening Salvo, this time with the Bismarck. So for my very first time out, we're going to go onto the hotspot map, and a pretty good matchmaking spread for me here. A few tier 8s, but a lot of tier 7s and tier 6s. And right off the bat, when we jump in, there's a bug in the replay system. As part of the Hunt for the Bismarck missions, there was a spiffy nice camo job that got handed out, and unfortunately it's not showing up in the replay. So just imagine my Bismarck looking a whole lot swankier. Oh well. So let's get going. Right off the bat, I want to say that the Bismarck has kind of a special place for me. Back in 5th grade, when I was just a wee lad, there was a book fair, back when those were still a thing, and my parents gave me 20 bucks. And when I was at the book fair, I spotted a book called Discovering the Bismarck by Robert Ballard, which was a book all about the construction, launch, service, and eventual destruction and then rediscovery of the Bismarck. And at this point in my life, when I was about 10 years old, it included World War II, giant battleships, and underwater exploration. So right there, it knocked that one out of the park, and I immediately bought it. And that book got me started into warships. Really, one of the reasons that I enjoy warships so much was because I got into it because of that book. And oh, here we go, my customary first high explosive salvo, because every single time I get a brand new battleship, the first shots out of the tube are always high explosive because I forget to switch to armor piercing. Never let it be said that I'm not a tomato. So, anyways, back to the book. Yeah, the Bismarck got me interested in the ships, and one of the things that they said in that book was a discussion about the sort of outdated armor scheme of the Bismarck. And that comment got me really studying about how battleships are designed, constructed, and how they're put together. So that book not only got me interested in battleships, but it got me interested in their construction, and also really got me studying the Bismarck herself a lot. So when I saw the Hunt for the Bismarck missions and found out at the very end of them was the Bismarck herself, I got pretty excited. Not the least of which because it allowed me to completely skip the Gneisenau, because as far as I'm concerned, I've already got the Scharnhorst. I've got the good version of the Scharnhorst / Gneisenau. I didn't really want to go back through and replay that ship with German accuracy but only 6 guns. No, I've got the Scharnhorst. I'm happy. So yeah, I get one of my favorite ships, even though if you ever hear me talk about her on the forum, you'd think I hate this ship. But I get one of my favorite ships, I get to skip the Gneisenau, and I get a pretty fun campaign. So right now, I'm on Haven, and I'm on the crappy side for a battleship. I'm on the east side. Personally, I think if you're on a battleship, you want to be on the west side of Haven, and Haven? No, Hotspot. You want to be on the west side of Hotspot if you're in a battleship. Being over here on the east side really kind of sucks. So what I decided to do was try to move over towards A/B. And as I got up here, I found myself running into pretty much half the enemy team. And so I slow down, start trying to angle, and decide that I'm going to sit here and help do some damage and anchor things for my team. But my team had other ideas on their mind, sort of like turning around and running away as fast as they could. Thanks, guys. So, anyways. Oh, speaking of bugs in the replay system, this Atago is actually an ARP to cow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the replay system. At this point, I'm just happy that we have one, given how wonky and completely organic seems to ignore it. Anyways, so back to the battle. So my team is in the process of running away while I'm trying to figure out the best angle to present to everybody. Because I've got a Bayern and a Tirpitz on one side, I've got a North Carolina and a Tago on the other, I've got a Miyoko firing shots at me, I've got 2 Tirpitzes over on the far side, I've just got no real great angles. And so I settled for pretty much this one. Aim it at the Miyoko and then just pray that everything's going to work out. And here's where I got my first surprise. My secondaries opened up, and I immediately started to look around to try to figure out who are my secondaries firing at? Because I don't see a destroyer anywhere nearby. I don't see anybody they should be shooting at. And then I kind of realize that they are shooting at a ship that is almost 10 kilometers away. Yeah, the Bismarck secondaries are legit. That's pretty impressive. Which is also good that I went ahead and decided to focus pretty heavily on the secondaries. Right now, I'm just looking for the best target I can find and trying to spread some of the damage around, as my team is now well over 2-3 kilometers behind me. And I'm trying to back up, but they're running away faster. I see the torpedoes incoming, and because of the Bismarck's hydroacoustic search, which I'm very happy that she has, because I had torpedoes coming in. And I get myself angled up into the slot really nice, and look at that. Torpedo beats in reverse. Not even close. There was a good 10 meters between me and those torpedoes. So, anyways. Let's try to put the gas forward now. Try to get away from just backing up at full speed. Man, just... I don't know if I'm ever going to get over having secondaries that reach out to 10 kilometers. I mean, I've got Japanese destroyers whose main guns don't reach that far. In this New Mexico, I sympathize with being a tier 6 ship in a tier 8 match, but man, by the time you've got the second E or the C hull in New Mexico, you really should have learned not to be broadsiding onto enemy battleships by now. You really should have learned that. But I'm not entirely convinced that there was even an actual human at the controls of that ship. We'll talk about him a little bit more later on. So at this point in the battle, I have taken almost 23,000 damage, but I have ladled out almost 65,000. So that's a pretty good exchange ratio of the damage taken. So this is pretty tanky, and I was getting pretty impressed with this ship for a first time out. She was able to absorb a lot of damage, she was able to do a lot of damage, and her guns didn't even seem that German to me. If anything, they kind of reminded me of the Colorado's guns. Spurgeon's not great, but it's not like the Scharnhorst where you're trying to shoot at distance. So I'm enjoying my first outing in this ship, and right now I'm trying to decide if I want to continue on my original plan, which is head towards A and B, or do I want to kind of wrap it around C a little bit, because we've thinned out the enemy pretty significantly, and we're not seeing a whole lot over at A and B aside from potentially a destroyer. So it looks like this side of the map is the target environment. That being said, I don't know why this Independence ran. He still has good cover at that island, and I don't know. But anyways, my shots missed, fall in his wake. I'm going to take another shot because I don't have great angles on anybody else. Well, except for this Miyoko. Now, the Miyoko is a ship that I myself have unlocked not too long ago, and I have come to a much greater appreciation of the struggle of trying to captain a Miyoko. Because those gun turrets, the layout, it might make sense. In reality, it might have made sense, but in this game, that turret layout is just awful. You have to turn the ship almost 40 degrees to even get most of them on target. I think you've almost got to be at... No, actually, I think I tested out. You have to be at 45 degrees to actually be able to get all those gun turrets firing. It's just awful. So this Tirpitz is coming in. I'm starting to get a little, I'm figuring he's going to try to run in here with his torpedoes, but I've got plenty of health and I've got big guns, and I figure I can take them. Except he starts to make this turn at 6 kilometers and give me this beautiful broadside, and he just gets wrecked. And right there, second salvo from my team finishes him off. And here's that Miyoko. He poked his nose out, watched his buddy get deleted, and tried to bring it back in, but not to be. So I've got my hydroacoustic search going because I'm pretty much assuming that Tirpitz's torpedoes should be coming in, because why else would he turn broadside on? But so far, I'm not finding anything. I don't know if he got deleted before he got a chance to fire him off, or if he just never actually fired him. He just panic turned. Regardless, I'm starting to wrap around the edge of C here, and I'm looking for that New Mexico and the Tikal/Otago that I know is hiding in there. Now, the Independence has made his way out to that island way at the extreme northeast corner of the map, and he doesn't really have anywhere to go. So I'm not too worried about him. Haven't really had much in the way of trouble with him so far this game. So here's that New Mexico, and he is still trying. I think he's made one course correction in the entire time of this game. I'm not entirely convinced this guy was even a human. So, well, regardless, he's getting punished for his broadsiding ways. And there is that Otago. So I'm turning around towards C. I'm going to try to get shots in there, because even though C is a very bad idea to go into as a battleship, just because all these islands give lots of cover for destroyers, it's also gives you lots of cover in general. Oh, I tried to flick those shots over the island of the Otago before he could sneak behind it, but didn't quite make it. So here I hear the airplanes and I get a little bit nervous. There's enemy dive bombers coming in, but we've got our own torpedo bombers. Looks like our carrier has decided that the enemy carrier is the target that he wants. And here's that Otago, and he has made a grievous mistake. I wait for him to get a little farther in return, and send out some love. And look at that. Golly, that is beautiful dispersion on those shots. And almost 13,000 damage to that guy. Here come the dive bombers. And the a-hole Bismarck's anti-aircraft is not that impressive. I was taking a look at what the improvements. Oh no, tactical beaching. Oh no. Well, sorry, buddy. Let me put you out of your misery. Whew. Those were some pretty brutal. Oh, there was your answer. He was trying to get those torpedoes off. So at this point, the New Mexico goes down to our Dunkirk, and with the Otago down right over here, the only thing left is this Independence and the enemy destroyer, which I believe is an Akatsuki, but he's all the way over at A. So yeah, there's our carrier is trying to snipe the enemy carrier unsuccessfully. Doing a little bit of damage, but honestly probably would have preferred to have seen more out of two torpedo bomber and two dive bomber squadrons. And I bracket the target, so I think I've got the lead. But this Independence driver is not, well, he's not that bad, because when he saw me bracket him, apparently he chopped the throttle. Because as I line up for the second salvo, I send those guys out. And if I take a peek in there real quick, yeah, nothing. I didn't get anything. Completely missed him. Best guess is he chopped his throttle way back and I overshot him. Which, you know, good on him, but at this point, he's really only delaying the inevitable as our guys are moving into C to capture it. And I'm asking our carrier if he can keep this enemy carrier spotted for me. So there we go. Looks a lot better. There we go. I got the range. So I decided to keep pushing forward because you never know. I don't want this guy getting away. I want to keep an eye on him. I want to keep shots going in on him. And if I turn broadside, there's a possibility that he's going to be able to keep opening up the range. Yeah, those concerns were unfounded because as you can see, he's just kind of poking along. And just, again, gorgeous dispersion. Look at that. Oh, that's also why you fire armor piercing at carriers. Find those citadels. And I down one last fighter as the game comes to a close when the enemy Akatsuki finally runs out of luck. So that was my very first game in the Bismarck, and there you go. You can see from the screenshots where my nice spiffy camouflage job that you couldn't see in the replay. Anyways, 143,000 damage and 3 kills along with the Confederate award in my first time out in the Bismarck. I think I'm going to like this ship. So, let's take a look at what happened in the team score. Top of the team, 1900 base experience. That's not a bad outing. And our other Bismarck came in second. So, noticing a trend. Now, as you can see, we took out the Takao, the Independence, and the Miyoko, as well as doing 28,000 to the North Carolina, 24,000 to the Tirpitz, 21,000 to the New Mexico. I mean, just really spreading that damage around, which is what I like to see when I'm piloting or captaining a battleship. And right there, 53 secondary battery hits, and I never got them closer than 6 kilometers to anybody, and 11,000 damage in fires. Whew. And even though this ship is not a premium, I still cleared 200,000 credits, got 10,000 XP, and 1,000 base experience. Not a bad first time out. This has been Bucketeer. I'll catch you next time.